Story 1. I've been a patrol officer for about 6 years now, and I thought I'd seen it all. Started this job after spending 3 years as a school crossing guard, which might sound like a weird career path. But after watching too many close calls with speeding cars nearly hitting kids, I decided I wanted to do more than just hold a stop sign. I went through the academy, got my badge, and requested to work the areas around schools. My own little sister was hit by a speeding driver when she was 8. She's fine now, but that memory never leaves you. So there I was on a Tuesday morning, parked in my usual spot near Riverside Elementary. School had just started, meaning the zone was still active. I had my radar gun out, and most cars were doing the right thing, slowing down to 20 miles per hour like they're supposed to. Then I clocked a silver SUV doing 40 in a school zone, with kids still walking on the sidewalks. I pulled out, hit the lights, and signaled for her to pull over. She did, but not before laying on her horn like I was the one doing something wrong. I walked up to the driver's side window, already getting a bad feeling about this one. Before I could even speak, the door flew open, and this woman jumped out. She was probably in her late 30s, wearing expensive-looking workout clothes and sunglasses that cost more than my weekly paycheck. Ma'am, I need you to get back in your vehicle." "Karen, no, I will not. This is tyranny." She actually said that, out loud, about a traffic stop in a school zone. "Ma'am, I pulled you over because you were driving 40 miles per hour in an active school zone. The speed limit here is 20. "Karen, I don't recognize your authority. This is a free country." Then she did something I never expected. She pulled out her phone and started filming herself. "Karen, I'm being detained illegally by this officer for exercising my right to travel. This is unconstitutional. I'm documenting this violation of my rights." Ma'am, you weren't detained. You were pulled over for speeding in a school zone. I'm going to need to see your license and registration." "Karen, I don't need a license. Driving is a right, not a privilege. You're violating the Constitution." I took a deep breath. My dashcam was recording everything, which was good because nobody would believe this otherwise. I tried one more time to be reasonable. "Ma'am, if you don't provide your license and registration, I'll have to cite you for that as well. Please cooperate." "Karen, no, I'm placing you under citizen's arrest for violating my rights. You're under arrest." She actually lunged toward me like she was going to grab my arm. I stepped back, keeping my distance, and radioed for backup. This was escalating fast. "Karen, you can't run away. I'm arresting you." She started moving toward me again, phone in one hand, her other hand reaching out. She was shouting something about tyranny and freedom, and I was backing up toward my cruiser. That's when it happened. She tripped. Her designer handbag, which was hanging off her shoulder, somehow got caught around her ankle. 1 second she was charging at me. The next she was sprawling face first onto the pavement. Her phone skittered across the asphalt. I'll admit, I had to work hard not to laugh. "Karen, oh, police brutality. He pushed me." Ma'am, I'm 10 feet away from you. You tripped over your own bag." By now, backup had arrived. My partner got out of his car, took one look at the scene, and I could see him fighting back a smile too. "Partner, everything okay here?" "Me, just fine." "Ma'am, please stay on the ground until we can sort this out." Karen scrambled to her feet, grabbing her phone. She had a scraped knee and looked furious. "Karen, I demand you delete that dashcam footage right now. This is slander. You're violating my image rights." "Partner, ma'am, this is a public street. There are no image rights being violated." "Karen, I'll sue. I'll sue both of you. Delete that video right now." Ma'am, that's not going to happen. The dashcam footage is evidence. Now, I'm going to need your license and registration, or you're going to be cited for multiple violations." She finally seemed to realize she wasn't getting anywhere. She stomped back to her SUV, got her documents, and practically threw them at me. I wrote her up for speeding in a school zone, failure to provide documents promptly, and leaving her vehicle during a traffic stop. The fines added up to over $500. Karen, this isn't over. My husband is a lawyer. Me. Then he can explain traffic laws to you. Have a nice day, ma'am. She snatched the tickets from my hand and peeled out, probably doing 40 again within a block. My partner and I stood there watching her go. Partner, did she really try to arrest you? Me, yep. Partner, and trip over her own purse. Me, all on camera. We both finally let ourselves laugh. Later that week, I heard through dispatch that she'd tried to file a complaint, demanding the footage be destroyed. Instead, it got flagged for the department's training videos as an example of what officers might encounter. I heard it got a lot of laughs at the academy. Sometimes justice is just watching someone trip over their own ego. Story 2. I've been working as a pediatric nurse for 3 years now, and honestly, it's the kind of job that drains everything out of you. The hours are brutal, the emotional toll is heavy, and I can't remember the last time I actually had a proper vacation. My partner works in its support, and he's been dealing with his own stress endless on-call shifts and demanding clients who think technology should fix itself. So when we both finally managed to get the same week off, we didn't want to do anything fancy. No expensive resorts, no complicated travel plans, just a simple beach day about 2 hours from our apartment. We packed our old folding chairs, some sandwiches, sunscreen, and a couple of books we'd been meaning to read for months. The beach wasn't crowded when we arrived around 10 in the morning. We found a nice spot not too close to the water, but with a clear view of the waves. My partner set up our chairs while I spread out our towels. For the first time in what felt like forever, I could feel my shoulders starting to relax. Partner, this is perfect. No pagers, no phone calls, just us and the ocean. Me, I know. I can't believe we're actually here. We settled into our chairs with our books. I wasn't even really reading, just staring at the pages while listening to the sound of the waves. It was exactly what I needed. About an hour passed peacefully. Then I heard footsteps approaching quickly across the sand. I looked up to see a woman in her 50s marching straight toward us. She was wearing a white linen outfit and oversized sunglasses, carrying what looked like an expensive designer purse. Karen, excuse me. Me, can we help you? Karen, you're in my view of the ocean. I looked around, confused. There was plenty of beach space. We weren't blocking any path or sitting in front of any specific area. Partner, I'm sorry, what? Karen, my view. I come here every week and I sit in that spot over there, and you two have positioned yourselves directly in my line of sight. It's completely ruined my experience. Me, but we're not really blocking anything. The beach is pretty open. Karen, that's not the point. The point is that I have a routine, and you're disrupting my emotional space. Before either of us could respond, she grabbed my partner's folding chair, the one he was literally sitting in, and started dragging it backward. He jumped up, nearly falling onto the sand. Partner, hey, what are you doing? Karen, moving you to where you should have been in the first place. This sand is public property of emotional relaxation, and you're violating my emotional property rights. She dragged the chair about 10 feet away, planted it in the sand, and stood there with her hands on her hips like she'd accomplished something important. My partner and I just stared at each other in disbelief. Me, ma'am, you can't just move people's belongings. We have just as much right to sit here as you do. Karen, rights? Rights. I'll have you know that I've been coming to this beach for 15 years. 15 years of the same spot, the same view, the same peaceful meditation. And then entitled young people like you show up and think you can just plop down wherever you want. Partner, that's literally how public beaches work. Karen, don't you dare lecture me about how beaches work. I was coming here before you were probably even born. This is my sanctuary, my healing space, That's when the wave hit. It wasn't even a particularly big wave, just one of those that comes in a bit farther than the others. But Karen had been so focused on her rant that she hadn't noticed she was standing right at the edge of where the water was reaching. The wave rushed up, soaking her white linen pants up to her knees and completely drenching the designer purse she'd set down in the sand. Karen. Oh no, my purse, my purse. She scrambled to grab it, but the damage was done. Water was dripping out of it, and I could see her phone screen was wet through the open zipper. My partner, being the kind person he is, immediately grabbed one of our beach towels and walked over to her. Partner, here, you can use this to dry off. Karen, get away from me. She actually swatted at the towel like it was a weapon. Karen, the audacity of pity, the absolute audacity. First you steal my view, then you have the nerve to act like you're helping me. This is a setup. You probably wanted this to happen. Me, how could we possibly have controlled the ocean? Karen, don't play innocent with me. You positioned yourselves here specifically to ruin my day, and now you're offering fake sympathy to make me look like the unreasonable one. A small crowd had started to gather. A lifeguard was making his way over. Lifeguard, is everything okay here? Karen, these people assaulted me and destroyed my property. Partner, we literally just offered her a towel. Several people in the crowd who had witnessed the whole thing started speaking up. Bystander, she grabbed their chair and moved it. Another bystander, she was yelling about her view of the ocean. Karen's face turned red. She snatched up her soaking purse, gave us one final glare, and stormed off toward the parking lot, her wet pants leaving dark footprints in the sand. The lifeguard looked at us apologetically. Lifeguard, sorry about that. Some people just... Yeah, you folks okay? Partner, we're fine, just confused. The crowd dispersed. My partner moved his chair back to where it originally was. We sat back down, and for a moment, neither of us said anything. Then we both started laughing. Me, did that actually just happen? Partner, I think we just got yelled at by the Ocean's Homeowners Association president. We spent the rest of the day at the beach without any further incidents, and somehow, after all that chaos, I felt even more relaxed than before. Nothing puts your own stress into perspective quite like encountering someone who thinks they own the view of a public ocean. Story 3. I've been teaching 5th grade for 8 years now, and I thought I'd seen it all. Helicopter parents, parents who blame me for their kids' poor grades, parents who think their child is a genius when they can barely read at grade level. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened at last Tuesday's parent-teacher meeting. Let me give you some context first. Our school has these monthly meetings where parents and teachers get together to discuss curriculum changes, upcoming events, and any concerns about the students. They're usually pretty boring, to be honest. We sit in the cafeteria, the principal goes through the agenda, a few parents ask questions, and we're done in an hour. This particular meeting was supposed to be about the new literacy program we were implementing. I'd been working with the other teachers for months to get it ready, and we were excited to present it to the parents. There were about 15 parents in attendance, which was actually a pretty good turnout for us. Everything started normally enough. The principal welcomed everyone and began explaining the changes to the reading curriculum. That's when she walked in. I'd seen this woman before at school pickup. She always wore expensive workout clothes and carried a designer bag that probably cost more than my monthly paycheck. Her son was in another teacher's class, and I'd heard whispers in the staff room about how demanding she was. But I'd never actually dealt with her myself. She walked in 20 minutes late, her heels clicking loudly on the cafeteria floor. She didn't apologize or try to be quiet. Instead, she pulled out a chair right in the front row, the legs scraping against the floor, and sat down with this expectant look on her face. The principal paused mid-sentence and smiled politely. Principal, welcome. We're just discussing the new literacy program. I can catch you up during the break if you'd like. Karen, that won't be necessary. I've already reviewed the materials online. Continue. The principal blinked, but went back to her presentation. 5 minutes later, Karen's hand shot up. Principal, yes, do you have a question? Karen, not a question. A statement. I've been observing the dynamics of this school for 3 years now, and I've noticed a severe lack of parental input in major decisions. That changes today. I exchanged glances with my colleagues sitting next to me. Several parents shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Principal, we actually have a parent-teacher association that meets monthly. You're welcome to join if you'd like more involvement. Karen, oh, I'm well aware of the association. I'm talking about real involvement, real authority, which is why I'm declaring myself the acting head of parental operations, effective immediately. The room went dead silent. Someone's phone buzzed, and it sounded like a foghorn. My colleague, I'm sorry, what? Karen, you heard me. Someone needs to take charge of the parental voice at this school, and clearly, I'm the only one qualified. I have a master's degree in business administration, and I've managed teams of over 50 people. She pulled out this massive binder from her bag and slammed it on the table in front of her. It had to be 3 inches thick. Karen, I've prepared a comprehensive restructuring plan for how parent-teacher communications should work. First order of business, all teachers will stand when I'm speaking. It's a sign of respect and professionalism. I actually laughed out loud. I couldn't help it. It was so absurd. But she turned and glared at me with such intensity that I stopped immediately. Principal, ma'am, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but that's not how we operate here. Parents and teachers work together as equals to support the students. No one is required to stand for anyone. Karen, that's the problem with this school. No structure, no hierarchy, no respect for leadership. Another parent, a dad who'd been quiet until now, spoke up. Parent, I think we're all equals here. We're just trying to help our kids. Karen, equals. I volunteered at every bake sale, every book fair, every fundraiser for 3 years. I've earned a leadership position. Teacher, volunteering doesn't make you the boss of everyone else. Karen, excuse me? Did I give you permission to speak? I could feel my blood pressure rising. This woman was unbelievable. Me, we don't need your permission to speak. This is a collaborative meeting. Karen stood up, her face turning red. She pointed at me. Karen, this is exactly the kind of insubordination I'm talking about. When I'm leading this committee, there will be order. There will be respect. There will be proper protocol. The principal stood up too, her voice calm but firm. Principal, this isn't a monarchy. We're a public school where everyone has a voice. You're welcome to participate, but you don't get to declare yourself in charge of anything. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Karen's eyes went wide, and her mouth opened and closed like a fish. Then her face went from red to almost purple. Karen, fine, fine. She grabbed her binder, held it up dramatically, and then slammed it shut with both hands. The sound echoed through the cafeteria. Karen, then consider this my resignation from respect. You'll all regret not taking me seriously. My son deserves better than this chaos. She stormed toward the door, her heels clicking furiously. But right as she reached it, the principal called out. Principal, one more thing. I checked with the superintendent this afternoon after receiving your emails about becoming head of parental operations. That's not actually a position that exists. Also, you've been removed from the volunteer list for repeatedly violating our code of conduct policy. You attempted to change another student's grade in the system last month. Karen froze in the doorway. Every head in the room turned to stare at her. Principal, I was planning to discuss this with you privately after the meeting. But since you made such a public declaration, I thought you should know. School security will escort you out if you cause any further disruptions. Karen's face went pale. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something, but nothing came out. Then she turned and practically ran out of the building. The cafeteria erupted. Parents were whispering to each other, some were laughing, and one parent started clapping. The meeting continued after that, and honestly, it was the most engaged I'd ever seen parents at one of these things. The next day, I heard that Karen tried to email the superintendent to complain, but apparently she'd been sending him bizarre demands for weeks, and he'd already blocked her address. Her son switched to a different school the following week. Best parent-teacher meeting ever. Story 4. I've been managing the Daily Grind Cafe for about 2 years now. Before this, I worked my way up from barista to shift lead to assistant manager at a corporate coffee chain. I left that job because I wanted to be part of something with more personality, somewhere that actually cared about the community. This place is special to us. We source locally, know our regulars by name, and actually give a damn about making good coffee. The neighborhood changed a lot in the past year. More influencers, more people treating our cafe like a photo studio instead of a business. I don't mind it too much. They buy coffee, they post about us, everyone's happy. But it definitely attracts a different crowd sometimes. It was a Saturday afternoon, pretty busy. Every table was full, mostly with the weekend crowd. College students studying, a few people on laptops, and yeah, a handful of people setting up ring lights for their content. One guy in the corner had a whole setup for food photography. Whatever. As long as they're buying drinks, we're good. Then she walked in. I was behind the counter when I heard the door chime. This woman marched up to the register like she was about to declare war. Designer purse, expensive athleisure wear, the kind of sunglasses that stay on indoors. My barista took her order. An oat milk latte. Simple enough. She paid with a credit card, making a big show of holding it between 2 fingers like the card reader was contaminated. Then she stood at the pickup counter, tapping her nails on the wood. We made her drink exactly like we make everyone else's. Our barista is good at his job. Been doing this for 4 years. He handed it over with a smile. Barista, oat milk latte for you. Karen, finally. She took it to a table, sat down, and pulled out her phone. I went back to checking inventory on the tablet. Then I heard it. Karen, this tastes like betrayal. She literally screamed it. The entire cafe went silent. Everyone turned to look. The guy with the ring light stopped mid-recording. I walked over, already knowing this wasn't going to go well. Me, is everything all right with your drink? Karen, all right? All right? This is disgusting. This isn't oat milk. You're trying to poison me. Me? I can assure you that's oat milk. I watched him make it myself. Would you like us to remake it? Karen, I don't want anything from this establishment. You people are frauds. Then she stood up and threw the cup. Not at me. Not at the floor. She hurled it directly at the guy with the ring light setup. It hit his camera with a splash, covering his entire setup in coffee. His camera sparked and died. Oat milk dripped down his table, his laptop, everything. Content creator, what the hell? Karen, that's what you get for supporting these criminals. The whole cafe erupted. People were standing up. Someone was filming on their phone, and the guy whose equipment just got destroyed looked like he was about to cry. His camera probably cost thousands. Me, that's it. You need to leave. Now. Karen, you can't kick me out. I'm a paying customer. Me, you just assaulted another customer and destroyed their property. Get out or I'm calling the police. Karen, this is discrimination. You're discriminating against me. Me, I'm asking you to leave because you threw a drink at someone. That's assault. My barista was already on the phone with the police. Karen grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door, but not before turning around for one last declaration. Karen, you haven't heard the last of me. This is barista elitism. She slammed the door so hard our chalkboard menu rattled. I thought that was the end of it. I helped the content creator clean up, apologized profusely, and offered to cover whatever his insurance didn't. He was surprisingly cool about it, though his camera was definitely dead. Then someone by the window started laughing. Customer, you guys need to see this. I looked outside. She was there, right outside our cafe. She'd somehow produced a cardboard sign from her car and was standing on the sidewalk holding it up. The sign read, "Barista elitism ends today," in thick marker. Karen, equal foam for all, equal foam for all. She was chanting. Actually chanting. A small crowd was gathering, mostly people pulling out their phones to record. Some were laughing, others looked confused. She kept marching back and forth in front of our door, waving her sign like she was leading a revolution. Karen, no more discrimination. Equal foam for all. Down with coffee tyranny. I just stood there, watching through the window. My barista came up beside me. Barista, is this real life? Me, I have no idea anymore. She kept it up for 20 minutes. Every time someone tried to enter the cafe, she'd block them and thrust her sign in their face. That's when I called the police again. This wasn't protesting anymore, this was harassment and blocking a business entrance. 2 officers arrived pretty quickly. I watched from inside as they approached her. She immediately started her chant louder. Karen, equal foam for all. Equal foam for all. You can't silence the truth. Officer 1, ma'am, you need to move along. You're blocking the entrance to a private business. Karen, I have a right to peaceful protest. Officer 2, not when you're preventing customers from entering. You need to leave or you'll be cited for obstruction. Karen, this is oppression. Coffee oppression. The officers gave her one more warning. She finally lowered her sign, shot a death glare at our cafe, and marched off down the street, still muttering about foam equality. The officer came inside to get our statement about the thrown drink. Apparently she could face charges for assault and property damage if the content creator wanted to press them. He said he'd think about it. After the officers left, the cafe slowly returned to normal. People went back to their drinks and conversations, though everyone was still buzzing about what just happened. My barista made himself a double espresso. Barista, I don't get paid enough for this. Me, none of us do. That evening, I checked our social media. We'd been tagged in about 30 videos of the incident. The thrown cup, the sign, the chanting, all of it. We were trending locally. Our phone wouldn't stop ringing with people asking if the videos were real. The content creator whose camera got destroyed, he posted a video about the whole thing that went viral. Last I checked it had 2 million views. He titled it, "The Day Karen Declared War on Coffee." In the comments, he mentioned he was definitely pressing charges. We kept a piece of her cardboard sign that she dropped. It's hanging in our back office now. Whenever we have a bad day, we look at it and remember that at least nobody's screaming about betrayal and foam equality. Though I did update our staff training manual. New section, what to do if someone throws a beverage at another customer. Never thought I'd need that chapter, but here we are.